The 1960s were a total blast. Wild, wicked, and wonderful all in one. Even without fancy tech, those kids knew how to have fun. Some stuff was daring, some just plain goofy, and some totally mind-blowing. Let's take a trip down memory lane today and remember all the incredible things those kids did back then that today's kids wouldn't believe. Get ready for some laughs, a touch of nostalgia, and all the craziness the 60s brought. Excited to jump in? Number 1. Biking with no helmets. If you ever had a bicycle in the 1960s, one thing was certain: you didn't wear a helmet. You probably didn't even have one to wear. Why? Well, it's because nobody wore one and nobody cared that you didn't wear one. Riding a bicycle in the 60s, you just hopped on your bike, started pedaling, and hoped for the best. Did accidents happen? All the time. Did it teach anybody a lesson? Absolutely not. Kids today have a whole different deal. Can't even hop on a bike without strapping on a helmet. If your folks don't nab you first, the neighbors will, and you better hope they don't call child services. Grown-ups are even sporting helmets now. Safety-wise, it's a smart move, but in the past, not wearing a helmet was the norm. Wearing one practically screamed, "Bully me." And let's face it, the 60s weren't lacking in bullies. So helmet or not, it's your noggin on the line. Number 2. Bouncing on trampolines with no nets. When you see trampolines today, they have nets as high as the Great Wall of China. No matter how high you bounce, you just can't escape the net. But in the 60s, things were a lot different. We jumped, bounced, and spun in the air all on trampolines with no safety nets. Was it crazy? Yes. Did we jump off the fence sometimes? Yes. But did we care? Absolutely not. Our trampolines back then were basically a death trap, but it was one that we always looked forward to jumping on right after school. Sure, we got a lot of cuts, bruises, sprains, strains, and a few broken bones here and there, but for us, it was just another day at the office. As soon as the wound heals and the cast comes off, we're off to jump and get injured all over again. Fun times, huh?
Broken. Crack, 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 crack.
Number 3. Walking to school alone. Back in the 60s, our moms didn't have fancy SUVs to drive us to school. Most of our moms didn't even know how to drive. There was nothing like carpooling, and school buses were a big luxury. So how did we get to school? On our good old legs. And one more thing. We walked alone. It didn't matter if you lived in the woods or near the street. Once you got your breakfast, packed your lunch, and said bye to your mom, you were out of the house all by yourself. If you're lucky, you may meet a few kids on the way who went to the same school. If you're really lucky, your sibling went to the same school and you walked together, usually fighting about something on the way. The same goes for when you're coming back from school. You walked all by yourself or with kids on the way. If you had no friends, well, tough luck to you. Number 4. Eating cereal with lots of sugar. You hear new words like gluten-free, sugar-free, or naturally sweetened in the cereals kids eat today. But back in the 60s, we ate sugar. Lots of it. If you were having cereal for breakfast, it didn't matter if it was wheat, corn, or oat. It didn't even matter if it was pre-sugared. We still poured a truckload of sugar into it. Sometimes the sugar was even more than the cereal. But if mom catches you, what comes after won't be as sweet as the cereal. Number 5. Hitchhiking. If you were a 60s kid, stranger danger wasn't a term you were familiar with, and nothing proved that more than hitchhiking. You just went on the road, do a thumbs down in front of an incoming car, and you get a free ride to where you were going. Kinda like Uber, only free. Anyways, it was totally unsafe, and it was mostly for adults and young adults, but some kids hitchhiked as well. Sometimes it was to catch a ride at school, the party your dad didn't want to take you to, and sometimes it was to run away from home. I tell ya, it's a miracle we survived the 60s. Number 6. Playing in the streets. Playing was something we 60s kids did a lot of, but unfortunately for some kids, their houses were too small to contain their kind of entertainment, so you'd think they'd go to the park, right? Wrong. There were no parks in most places, so kids went for the next best thing. The streets. Yes, the streets where cars roamed. Kids could play everything from stickball, street hockey, to Marco Polo, and hide and seek right on the streets. Cars would come once in a while, and after a friendly honk, everyone moved out of the way, and when the car was gone, we picked up right where we left off. Number 7. Cooling off with fire hydrants. Well, there's always been heat. There was heat in the 60s and there's heat now, but the only difference was how we cooled off. Kids these days have air conditioning and smart shower systems that speak 5 languages and play music. But in the 60s, we cooled off with water from fire hydrants, and it was just the best. Normally, the officials would come to open the hydrants once in a while, and they'd reduce the water pressure or make it sprinkle, but there were older kids that could hack the hydrants and give us all a good time. It was a huge waste of water, but those memories can never be wasted. Number 8. Staying at home alone. Babysitters are a modern invention in the world of 60s kids. Back then, kids would come back from school, and both parents were not back from work yet. If you think we were scared, think again. It was the best. No parents meant that you could do everything you want. The first thing to do was to raid the kitchen and invade the cookie jar. Next up was to race to the TV and catch a cartoon to watch till your parents come in and spank you for eating all the cookies. If you had an older sibling, however, it was a terrifying experience because that's when they take revenge on you for telling on them to your parents yesterday. And also, they would never let you take the remote. You just cried and waited for your mom to come back so that you could tell on your older sibling, only to get punished for it the next time both of you are alone. Number 9. No sunscreen. The 60s was the golden age of the tan and no UV protection. Mom may have slathered you with suntan lotion, but to help your tan along, not to protect your skin from harmful rays. Older kids would use baby oil with iodine in it to prevent burns and would use a reflector to bake themselves in the sun. Number 10. Unsafe toys. Of course, Monopoly and Candyland weren't harmful, but there were a slew of toys in the 60s that were super dangerous. There was Swing Wing, which was basically a hula hoop attached to a helmet that you had to swing around and round with whiplash-like head movements, and Jarts, a dart with a dangerous hook attached that would fly through the air and could land on other kids. There were also plenty of BB guns and also cap guns. The caps would explode and make scary shooting noises. Number 11. Drinking from the garden hose. It wasn't uncommon to find a baby boomer quenching their thirst via a water hose. Parents these days would advise against it for a variety of concerns, but mainly because of the water quality. Moments like drinking directly from the hose were a common part of childhood play and enjoyment in the sun. Well folks, that's all we have for you today. If you were a 60s kid, I'm sure you had a good time watching this video, reminiscing about the nostalgic trends and iconic moments of that era. What other crazy things did you do in the 60s that we didn't talk about? Share your memories and stories in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed the video and felt a rush of nostalgia, share this video with your friends to spread the good vibes and bring a smile to their faces as they walk down memory lane with you. Looking forward to connecting with you all again in our next video. Stay tuned and keep those 60s stories coming.